Aw, there. You're just so cute, aren't you? I'm sorry, I'm finally back. Oh, welcome back, Zawachin.
Welcome back, Mr. Aizawa.
My name is Rishito Aizawa. I'm 35 years old and a full-time office employee. My hobbies are the movies and going to see the late-night shows after work. On my days off, I would go and visit movie sets, and I was fully enjoying life as a single male. But one day, that life suddenly came to a halt. Hello, Mom, it's been a while. Wait, what? Much to my shock, my little sister and her husband were in a traffic accident, and I was told that they both passed away at the scene. My little sister and her husband were still young in their 20s. And not only that, but they had a daughter who was just about to be 4 years old.
No matter what we try, she won't stop crying. We're at our wits' end.
Let me take the turn. You guys should get some rest, Mom. Oh, she finally stopped crying. She must be so tired. At the time, I thought it was a coincidence, but we realized that Yura would only calm down when she was in my arms. Of course, there were plenty of times when she was completely out of control, but my parents were already in their late 60s, and they didn't have the stamina to raise a baby. That being said, there was no way we could take her to a center. After giving it some thought, I decided to raise her, with the help of a babysitter and sometimes my parents. Luckily, there were preschools that even a 4-month-old could go to, and I was able to receive the insurance money from my little sister and her husband's accident. Biggest problem would be my job. I was working full-time at one of Japan's top 5 trading companies called Orchid. The work itself was pretty intense and I wouldn't be able to take the days off that easily. I thought about shortening my work hours or changing over to part-time, and worst case scenario, having to look for a new job. But, sir, I'm very sorry to bother you. This is Rishito Aizawa. Oh, Zawachin, is everything okay back home now? Yes, the funeral and everything are complete. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to discuss with you. What is it? 10 things, 100 things, bring it on! Actually, I have decided to take in my sister's 4-month-old baby and raise her. But in that case, it's gonna be hard for me to continue working as I have been. And I see, I understand. Understand what? You should just bring her to our place for now. I just got a new baby bed. That was way too quick. That's not what I'm saying, though. I wanted to discuss changing over to part-time or taking time off or resigning. But you know, you won't be able to find a preschool that fast, and it'll be easier if you don't have to take them to and from preschool, right? It's not forever, but just until you can find your rhythm with this new life. If anything, we can just install a daycare center at our place. I can't have you do that much for me. Our important employee has made a very important decision in their life. As a CEO who is tasked with looking after his employees, I'm only doing the obvious. Anyways, you still have plenty of days off left, so until you come back to work, I'll prepare a few things. See ya! Wait, but sir! Before I could say anything, the CEO hung up on the phone. The CEO of Orchid, where I work, was Alan Suzuki. He was 2 years younger than me, but he took after his parents who had passed away when they were young, and worked extremely hard. And he is an incredible person who made the company even bigger. That being said, there were parts of him that wouldn't listen to people and dive headfirst into things, so sometimes he can be a handful, but even this time he would probably say, "This is Zawachin's #1 priority," and decide all kinds of things on his own. But bringing a 4-month-old baby into a workplace was a crazy big deal. Hopefully she doesn't have a tantrum, but... Yes, is that so? I understand. Yes, thank you very much. The reality was that I was having a hard time finding a suitable preschool. I felt I had no choice but to abide by the CEO until I could find a preschool, and I ended up returning to work ready for backlash, but... good morning. I sincerely apologize to the trouble I'm going to cause you all from today on, but please... No, Zawachin, we've been waiting for ya! Is that the little cutie pie that we heard so much about? What? Yes, her name is Yura. Aw, little Yura, how cute! I'm sorry, she's really shy and takes a while with new people. My daughter cries a lot too. That's just the age she's at. Are you really sure it's okay if I bring her in here? Of course! Zawachin, you're in accounting, right? I've already gotten approval from everyone in the accounting department, and we also moved your desk to the back corner and equipped it with a baby bed and a drawer for you to store the baby goods in. Also, we rearranged the seating so that people who like babies are closer to you. Thank you very much. You're one of our strongest and most important employees, of course. Oh, and just in case there's anything you need help with, I asked my sister to support you for a while. What? Your sister as in,
Nice to meet you, or perhaps we've met before. My name is Rulan Suzuki.
Miss Rulan, yes, I've seen you a handful of times with Mr. Allen, but I believe this is our first time speaking.
Actually, because I look after my brother's daughter, I'm very used to caring for small children. I think I can support you, so please, if there's anything you need, you can count on me.
But I'm sure you have your own work too, Miss Rulan. Actually, Rulan is in charge of supporting anything and everything in our company. She goes in to help when certain departments are understaffed, or sometimes she'll step in as my secretary to manage my problems. Ever since she joined the company, she has experienced every single department. Now that you mention it, I do feel like you're always flying around everywhere. I didn't know it was such an amazing position.
Well, I am unique of the unique. But that means starting today, supporting you by looking after your child is my job. So please don't hesitate to tell me anything.
Truly, thank you so much. And so, with the support of the Suzuki siblings and with the understanding of my colleagues, my life as a single father began. And that being said, I did go from being a single male to a sudden parent, so there was a mountain of things that I needed to learn. Every day I was being taught by my mom and the babysitter and Miss Rulan as I learned how to become a father. Aw, there, you're just so cute, aren't you? I'm sorry, I'm finally back. Oh, welcome back, Zawachin.
Welcome back, Mr. Aizawa.
Yura, were you being a good girl? Yeah, I think she's getting used to me. She stopped crying as much now.
It seems like you have a long road ahead.
I didn't want to take advantage of my colleagues forever, so I continued to look for a preschool. A few weeks later, hey, Zawachin!
Alan, shh!
What? Yura finally just fell asleep. Oh, shoot, sorry about that. Anyway, how can I help you? Actually, we decided to create a nursery in our company. What? That was perfect. The 7th floor of our building was pretty much a storage and unused space, and I was thinking what a waste of space it was. So I was thinking we could make that whole floor a daycare center. When we did a survey, there were other people who desired it as well. What? That being said, for the certifications and the preparation, it's gonna take about half a year. So if you don't mind keeping things as is for 6 months.
Isn't that great, Mr. Aizawa?
Truly, thank you all very much. Don't mention it, let's keep on working hard at our jobs and at raising our daughters. Yes, I'm going to do my very best. I truly believed I was blessed by my company and my people. I was able to work at such a good company and spend time with my little sister's treasure. However, it seemed that these happy days weren't going to continue. I'm home.
Rashido, welcome home.
What's the matter, Mom?
Actually, today, Yuki's parents came over here.
What? Yuki, my little sister's husband, which means Yura's father. But Yuki's parents were living overseas, so they didn't even make it back in time for the funeral. And we didn't have any notice from them that they would be coming back to the country. What do they want now?
About that, they started saying that they want to take in their granddaughter.
What?
After losing their son, they said the only bloodline they have left is Yura, and…
No way! Even though they didn't even show their faces at the funeral or any of the insurance meetings?
Anyway, I just told them to please have this conversation when you were around. So I had them leave for today. I also don't agree with handing over Yura to them. Yura is already legally your adopted daughter, so let's be firm when we speak to them.
Alright, thanks, Mom.
Well then, I'm going to go home now, but if anything happens, you give me a call, okay?
I laid Yura down in her bed, and finally let out a deep breath. I wasn't able to contain my uneasy feeling, even though I knew I was overstepping. I decided to call the CEO. Zawachin, what's the matter? I'm very sorry to call you after office hours. Don't mention it. It's only obvious for a CEO to listen to his employees when they need help. Actually, I explained what my mother had told me to Mr. Allen, and then Mr. Allen broke down the situation very logically. I really don't want to say this, but it doesn't sound like they just want to genuinely take in their granddaughter. I know, right? If that were the case, they would have come running here when my sister and her husband passed away. What do your sister's in-laws do for work overseas? From what I remember, they own a cafe near the beach or something. Do you know the name of the cafe? Just one moment, I think I have a postcard somewhere. Let's see, it's in Honolulu, and looks like it's called Cafe Chara. Okay, that's good enough information for me to research on my end. Anyways, you don't gotta worry about anything, just come to work tomorrow with Yura as usual. Yes, thank you very much. 3 days after that, my sister's in-laws didn't come back to our house, and the peaceful days passed by until…
Pardon me, is there a Mr. Rishido Aizawa here?
Yes, that would be me.
There is someone at the reception claiming to be your family and requesting to see you.
Pardon me for asking, what was the name?
They said their last name was Sato.
They're finally here. Sato was the family name of my sister's husband. It seems that the parents were finally here to attack. But then… Oh, there they are! I'll come with you. But, sir…
I'll take care of Yura, so you don't need to worry.
Miss Rulin, thank you very much.
Oh dear, Mr. Rishido, we had to really look for you. Anytime we came to your house, you were never home. So we had to come all the way to your company.
Hello, I believe we haven't seen each other since my sister's wedding, and since you didn't attend the funeral, I thought that you might have fallen out with your son.
We have a business overseas, so there was nothing we could do. More importantly, where is Yura?
She's being looked at by someone right now, so please don't worry. Well then, what brings you here today?
That's obvious, isn't it? We came here to take Yura.
After losing our son, Yura is our only biological bloodline. You must be having a hard time anyway, having a baby forced onto you when you're single. Isn't this such a great offer?
No, it's not. Yura has become my legally adopted daughter now. Months after my little sister's passing, you used your work as an excuse to not show up to the funeral, and yet suddenly you show up and force your way in. There's no way I'm just gonna hand her over to you.
Excuse you?
Plus, you aren't really here for Yura. You have your eyes on the inheritance that Yura will eventually receive.
What?
The two of them started dripping in cold sweat, and at that timing, my most comforting ally made his appearance. Hey, I'm the CEO of Orchid Trading Company, Alan Suzuki. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you.
What is this? This is none of your business. Please get out.
Well, this is a conversation concerning my previous staff, and his daughter's future. So, I see that Yura's parents, and therefore your son and daughter-in-law, were quite the investors.
Well, that's…
I thought it was quite strange, without showing up to the funeral and not a peep from you two. Why would you suddenly make an appearance? It looks like your cafe business. There was a large commercial mall built nearby. And things aren't going so well these days, huh? That was when you remembered something called an inheritance from your son or daughter-in-law. I heard this from the lawyer who's managing your son's inheritance. But it seems you've been quite persistent with them, huh? But then you found out that the inheritance would be all going to Yura when she turned 20 years old, and you panicked and decided to try and take her in now.
That's just your pathetic imagination. Please cut it out with such unbelievable accusations.
Interesting. Well, the commercial mall that's running your cafe out of business, we are actually also investing in.
What?
Honolulu gets a ton of Japanese tourists, so the demand is also quite high. For a Japanese trading company, that commercial mall is like a golden vein. Of course, I believe that the agreement was for the surrounding businesses to also receive support, but didn't you two spend that support fund in an instant?
No, that's…
If you plan on bothering the Aizawa family any further, we will be going to the police and will sue you for stalking. So please do be careful.
Even if you say that, because of you all, our cafe is going out of business and we are suffering, you know? Do you have any idea how many other shops are struggling because of that commercial mall?
Yeah, so for those shops on the weekend, we'll open up the first floor space. Well, it seems Cafe Chara hasn't participated yet, not once.
Because…
Well, of course you can't participate, because you've been taking your cafe business not seriously, and instead you've been turning your attention over to gambling. And you are carrying quite the debt. You borrowed money from a pretty shady place, and every day you're being chased after by the old debt collectors, aren't you?
How are you able to know all of that?
Despite what you may think, we are a top-class trading company in Japan. We have plenty of eyes and ears in Hawaii. I mean, wow. You really help by having your cafe in Hawaii. If it was any other country, it probably would have been harder. Well then, I hope you go and enjoy your rendezvous in hell. As he said that, a few police officers came rushing into the meeting room, and 2 of them were arrested on the spot. In Japan, it does become a violation of the disturbance protection law, but I'm sure their true hell was waiting for them back in Hawaii. According to Mr. Allen, I told my connections over there about their plans on returning to the country, so they'll probably get caught at the airport, he said. For the record, according to what Mr. Allen heard, their debt was well into the hundreds of thousands. Gambling overseas is on another level. How terrifying. Of course, it's just that those two were scumbags, but wow, we really made a good daycare. Yura also has friends her age now, and seems to really enjoy it. Mr. Allen, I can't say this enough, but thank you so much. What are you talking about? To me, this is way easier than making a house of cards. I don't really get the comparison, but thank you very much.
Thanks to there being a daycare in the company, we've been getting a lot more applications for mid-career hires. Looks like we're going to keep getting bigger, too.
That's true! Well then, looks like the childcare forces can be dismissed for now. I had a great time these last 6 months. Thank you, Zawachin. No, thank you. If it weren't for the two of you, I would have had to give up on working at this company. I truly cannot thank the two of you enough. I plan on working hard and doing my best for this company. Alright, we're counting on it. You are the pillar of the accounting department. The Zawachin pillar. The breath of accounting. The inhale and the exhale. That's you.
My brother has been really hooked on meditation lately, so don't mind him.
And so I was able to focus even more on my work. And I've been able to find a good balance between being an employee and being a father. I don't know what happened to my late sister-in-laws after that. It seems Mr. Allen is getting information from his sources from time to time, but ignorance is bliss, he says, and so I stopped asking any further questions. But in some ways, perhaps it was best for my sister and her husband to leave this world without having to see that side of them. And I think that I'll take that information to my grave too. Of course, that means I won't tell Yura about it either. And about the inheritance, it really was an unimaginable amount of $3 million. So even when Yura turns 20, I plan on managing it for her for a while. For better or for worse, that amount of money can make anyone go mad. But you know, you're not thinking about marriage or anything, Zawachin, huh? Becoming a father when you're still single is, well, a pretty unique situation. Well, it's so unique that I don't think there's anyone that would actually become a wife for me. And plus, I'm fine like this. I'm actually what they call asexual. Asexual?
It means a person who has no sexual feelings or desires towards anyone.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's why I never thought I would ever have my own family. So taking in Yura and becoming a father is truly a miraculous and wonderful thing to me. And without the support of those around me, I hope to become a proud father. I see. To each their own lactic acid, and therefore to each their own feelings about relationships. Thanks for telling me. And if I ever find anyone who tries to force a marriage on you, I'll make sure to tape their mouth shut, so don't worry. Oh, please, you don't gotta go that far for me. I'll be alright. Zawachin, you're so nice. You're not just a pillar of accounting, you're a pillar of compassion.
Alan, you're going to make things complicated, so cut it out.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you mind if I sometimes go visit Yura too? I spent quite a long time with her, and she's just so cute.
Of course. Please come over anytime. Yura would love that too. Well then, why don't we all gather at my place from time to time? My daughter is close to Yura's in age too, so I'm sure she would love it. Thank you very much. I would love to. And so, Yura and I would sometimes go over to the Suzuki mansion. I thought I would never be blessed with a family or a relationship, but this is the happiest I've ever been in my life. Of course, I would have been happier if my little sister and her husband were still alive, but nothing comes out of only focusing on what I've lost.
Daddy.
Did she just say daddy? Yay, you did it, Zawachin! Yeah, that's right. This is your daddy, Yura. I'm sure that someday the time will come for me to tell her that I'm not her real parent. But when the time for that conversation comes, I hope that the plentiful love that she's been given from now becomes a part of her confidence. I will do whatever it takes to give all my love to my daughter.